Welcome to the Blogger Genius Podcast, brought to you by Milo Tree. Here's your host, Jillian Leslie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Before I launch in, I wanted to say that David and I noticed something that a lot of people who were listening to the podcast, who listen to the podcast, who want to be starting online businesses don't have blogs and they don't know how to set one up and they're not technical. So we decided to start a service called Milo Tree Blog Start, where we will help you get a blog up in a matter of days. You do not have to have any technical skills. We've got the technical skills. And we wanted to do this so that we could help people really launch their businesses without the fear of the technology. We'll be there. We will help. We're there for questions. We're not going to get you set up and leave you to deal with this, but we want a way for you to start building your businesses. So if you are interested, please head to milotree.com/blog start. Again, it's milotree.com/blog start, and you can see what we're offering. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me at Jillian@milotree.com. I would love to hear from you. If you have feedback, I'd love to hear it. So please be in touch. And for today's episode, I am interviewing Sue de Chiara. Sue has a beautiful blog called the Zhush. It's Zhush. And I wanted to have her on the show because she is doing so well on Instagram. Her Instagram is beautiful. She has about 116,000 followers. So we talk a lot about Instagram, how she's built her business, the mistakes she's made along the way. I love how honest Sue is. I feel like we are now friends. And so without further delay, I bring you Sue de Chiara. Sue, welcome back to the show.
Hi, happy to be here.
So this is our second recording. We did an entire recording, but the tech wasn't great. So I asked you to come back, and here you are.
Yeah, here I am. No problem.
I love it. All right. So let's talk about, first of all, I found your site because it's beautiful and you use Milo Tree. And I always kind of check in on our customers. And when I saw what you were doing, I reached out to you and I said, please come on the show because I want to talk about your business.
Yeah, and I was more than happy to because I not only use your Milo Tree app, but I listen to your podcast all the time.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's great. Okay, so you have a site called the Zhush.
Right.
And it is spelled the and then Zhush.
Right.
And now how would you describe yourself as a blogger?
I am an interior design enthusiast, but I also talk about fashion and style and design as it impacts your life sort of on the day-to-day.
But you are not an interior designer, I remember from our last podcast. Right. So explain the difference.
I'm not looking to design other people's homes. I don't have formal training in interior design. I'm just very passionate about it. And I like to inspire other people with what we've done in our own home or what I think looks cool somewhere else. And I based a lot of my own home's designs off of other ideas that I found online in the past decade. So it's sort of like a community-based idea.
Great. Okay, so tell the story of how you got into blogging and how you picked your niche.
Okay, so it was back in 2009, and I was looking for inspiration. We were renovating our old home in Westchester, New York, and this was at the same time that a lot of design magazines, traditional old school publications, were folding. So I sort of learned about Domino magazine like right when they were in their last one or two issues. And
I love that magazine. Go ahead.
I got more and more into searching for things online. And the more I searched for inspiration online, I sort of fell into these other blogs and I loved them. And I just sort of like wanted to jump into the conversation. It wasn't for business purposes, or it wasn't, I didn't use the word entrepreneur. It was strictly hobbyist.
And this was before Pinterest.
It was before everything. I think there was Facebook and maybe Twitter.
Okay. Okay. And so from that, how did you turn your hobby into a business?
It sort of slowly happened over time. I just stuck with it. I never intended to stick with it as long as I did, but I really, really liked it. And as influencers, what they're called now, bloggers then got more street cred, for lack of a better word. Offers started coming my way, and it became clear to me over a matter of time that this was a viable business opportunity.
What
It
kind
probably took me longer than most to realize that, but I did eventually realize it.
Now, what kind of offers?
We would get offers to do sponsored posts, or, a small business like an Etsy vendor would say, would you put a little square up on your site? And I would charge like monthly rent, like for a little sidebar space, things like that. And then I learned more and more about affiliate marketing. There was a long time that I had my own store online and we did affiliate marketing, but that became a huge headache. So I shut that down in 2017.
Okay. And so what kinds of things were you selling online in your store?
Related to my site, where I would focus on accessorizing a room, which is kind of like zhushing a room.
Uh-huh.
So small decorative home decor accessories, monogram pillowcases, and knickknacks and bookends and candle holders and all fun stuff like that.
And how long did you have the business?
I had it for about 7 years, probably a year and a half too long.
Okay, let's talk about that. So you start this business and you think, if people are coming to my site for inspiration, what if I sell them the items? So were you then buying the items and keeping inventory?
About 50% of the items we kept inventory on, and approximately 50%, like the monogram personalized items, it was a drop ship arrangement with other vendors.
Okay. And when did you kind of have an inkling this wasn't working? Or did it work for a while? Or did it?
It did. It worked for a while, and I was really into it for a while. We got great press and we got great coverage. I never knew how to scale it properly. I didn't even know what this word scale something really meant. I had no background in retail, certainly no background in online retail, which was just sort of, starting at the time. And it just became more of a headache than it was worth. And at the same time, the blog, which I always loved, was making revenue, and it was just a lot easier and a lot less stressful.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I made the decision to pull the plug on the store.
Now, we had talked about this in the last recording, but that you said you knew earlier, that you knew like a year and a half earlier that this wasn't working, but it took that long to pull the plug.
Right.
And do you think that was because of your emotions?
I think because so much went into, establishing the store and getting it to the point where it was, that I couldn't imagine that I was just going to pull the plug on it. It was like a hard decision to make.
And now looking back on it, what do you think about? How do you think about it?
Now looking back, I wish I had done it sooner.
Right. And I think I have shared this, which is for Catch My Party, we partnered with some party suppliers and we put up a Shopify store on Catch My Party because, like you, it made perfect sense to us that people are looking for party ideas. Here's the opportunity to buy party supplies. And we decided, like in a smart way, we initially went into this with, we're not going to build a lot of technology. We're literally going to attach a Shopify store to our site, and we're going to take their feed of products and put them on our site. Right. And we were super excited, and we loved our partners too, which was like, this is just going to be a huge hit. And we turned it on, and it was crickets, and we got no sales. But we kept telling ourselves, oh my God, this should totally work. If we just tweak it this way or tweak it that way, it will work. And even with all the tweaking and all the time for our partners and us, it didn't work. And we liked them so much and we believed in our idea so much that it took us a while to turn it off. And I would say the same thing, which is, in hindsight, the writing was on the wall and we couldn't see it because our emotions were so wrapped up in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the lesson that I've gotten from that now is to check my own assumptions and hypotheses, meaning I come up with a hypothesis for our business and then I test it and I tell myself I really don't know the answer. And if it's working right away, I keep it. And if it's not, I start thinking about moving on to another experiment.
Right. Sort of, I have this similar, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yes. And I know that seems so like, what are you doing? But I will tell you that the internet is the Wild West, and that I've used that analogy, and I wish that, meaning there is some thought behind the spaghetti I'm throwing, like what kind of spaghetti I'm throwing, right. But there is some truth to that.
Yes, exactly.
And for me, I find it very humbling.
Yeah, it can be.
So you shut your business down how many years ago?
2017.
And then you started focusing more on your blog?
Exactly. Full steam ahead on just the blog.
So let's talk about then how you monetize your blog.
So I monetize it with ads on the site, and also through affiliate links through the site, and sometimes with sponsored posts.
Now, have you seen your number of sponsored posts increase, decrease? Like, how has that evolved for you?
It's been sort of the same. I signed up with a lot of different networks to get sponsored work, but I don't really follow through with any of it. So I just sort of take the approach, if they contact me, then I'll explore it more, but I don't have a lot of time to keep applying for the sponsored work. So it's sort of like whatever falls into my lap, and then it's got to be a good fit, and then I'll take that on.
And this would be a brand reaching out to you?
A brand or a brand rep, right?
Right. Okay. And then is there a lot of back and forth these days, or is it like we just wanted, because we're going to talk about your Instagram. You have a very big Instagram, and my hunch is that brands want to take advantage of that.
Right. It's all like a package deal these days. It's not just a blog post. It's usually like they would like a blog post, an Instagram, one or two in-post Instagram. Then they want the Instagram stories and how many, stories they want and where it should go and how it should swipe up. It's so different now what brands are looking for, where just like 3 or 4 years ago, you could really run with it more on your own and just do creatively what you want to do. And now it's dictated a lot more. There's clearer parameters of what they're looking for, which is good and bad.
I have found for us with Catch My Party, it has been a lot more back and forth.
Yes. Yeah.
And therefore, I am very particular now about accepting sponsored content, because it takes so much I find it takes so much longer.
Yes. Exactly.
And I don't necessarily see that my rates are going up to compensate for that.
Exactly. I'm finding the same exact thing. The back and forth with the emails and the approvals, it's time consuming.
Yes, and it feels for me somewhat arbitrary.
Right.
Like I'm not exactly sure why this photo versus this photo is going to give them a better ROI.
I think the brands, I get the sense that everybody's still trying to figure this whole thing out. And, sometimes it works and lightning strikes, and other times it doesn't. And they're trying to just glean as much information as they can from what works. And then everything shifts, and we're all just trying to figure it out in real time.
Imagine growing your Instagram followers with no work. Highly engaged followers. Now imagine it with Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube. How about new email subscribers? Seriously, no work. This is all possible if you install the Milo Tree pop-up on your blog. David, my husband, and I started our blog, Catch My Party, in 2009. We've since grown it into the largest party ideas site on the web with millions of page views per month. We did it with hard work and our secret weapon, our Milo Tree pop-up, which David built for us. We've grown our Pinterest followers to over 1.3 million, and our Instagram followers to over 164,000. And right now, 8,000 other bloggers just like you are using MiloTree to grow their businesses. With MiloTree, you can focus on growing one platform or switch between several. But here is the important thing. If you aren't converting your visitors into followers, subscribers, and customers, you're honestly wasting your own traffic. Make this asset, your visitors, work for you. Since we're bloggers, we get bloggers. So we've optimized MiloTree like crazy. It's a snap to install. It won't slow your site down. It's Google friendly on mobile, and it's so darn cute. You can even add animated sparkles to your pop-up if you like. Sign up now and get your first 30 days for free. Please pause this episode and head to milotree.com to sign up. I know you will thank me. As a bonus, once you sign up, I'm going to send you weekly actionable business tips to help you grow your business. I've been at this a long time and I have a lot to share. Remember, your scarcest resource is not money, it's time. So let MiloTree free up time for you so you can focus on the other important parts of your business. So what are you waiting for? Hit pause, head to MiloTree, and sign up today. Now, I'm on your blog right now, and I see that you have these beautiful gift guides for the holidays. So Let's talk about your affiliate income and kind of your strategy.
Well, I don't really have a strategy, but, other than trying to get traffic to the site, I pick things that I only love, and I work with Reward Style. They make it, they're affiliated with so many stores online that it's very easy to just talk about what you love. Mm-hmm. So that part's very easy for me.
Okay. And then you're making the images and you're putting together your take on all the different products?
Exactly. Those are my collages. Those are what I'm actually buying for people. So that all comes very naturally and very easy to me.
And how do your gift guides do?
They do pretty well. I know people love the ones for teenage girls because I have teenage girls. And, full disclosure, I ask them to help me with it ahead of time because I'm not going to make up what I think teenage girls would like. I'm going to go to the source and find out what teenage girls like. Why wouldn't I do that?
Absolutely. Okay, after we get off, I'm going to go look at your list because I have a almost teenage daughter with very specific tastes. I'm curious to see what your daughters are liking right now. Okay, so how then are you promoting your gift guides? One thing that I had talked about in a previous podcast about gift guides is making them very specific, like you just did with like teenage girls versus something more general like kitchen appliances or, kitchen things.
Right.
And what is your thought about that?
Yeah, I think it's probably better to be more specific because you just have to think about if you were looking for a gift, how would you go about looking for it? It's easy to think of yourself as the consumer buying the gift.
Right. And then how are you promoting your content? How are you getting eyeballs on your content?
It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of SEO. It's a little bit of social media. It's my email list. It's a wing and a prayer. And then sometimes if there's if it's very affiliate heavy, I might push it out on Facebook with a Facebook ad and put a little money behind it just to scoot it along a little further.
And has that helped you?
I think it has. Yeah.
Okay. And these are not posts with brands, trying to say, look, I've got tremendous engagement on this sponsored content. These are posts where you're selling stuff?
Right. No, I'm not representing a brand and doing anything, funky with Facebook that way. It's just my own posts.
In your posts, are you putting affiliate links in every post?
Almost every post, but not every single one.
When you set out to write a post, are you thinking from the affiliate product first and build out that way? Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. There might be a home I really want to talk about, or a designer. I just want to stalk their portfolio. I'm so inspired by it. And I don't want to put a square into a round circle, that peg analogy, and just try to ram links in there for no reason. Other times it comes very naturally if I'm talking about blue and white decor that I love. Got it. And how do you stay motivated 10 years in? Like, how do you still get excited by interiors and designers and products?
I just genuinely like it. I don't stay motivated, like at a 10 every single day. But the cool thing about working online like this is that you never know really what's going to show up in your inbox. I've had so many cool opportunities. I've met so many cool people, even just being on your podcast. I mean, it sounds corny, but it's so fun to me. So I just feel like you don't know where this project, for lack of a better word, is taking you. So it keeps everything fresh.
I agree with that. I do find I like that when that new opportunity shows up in my inbox, or I get invited to some event, or
Exactly.
I go to a conference and I meet people that like I've loved from afar for a long
Right.
time.
You already have like this common base when you meet these people because you love the same things or you're doing the same things. So the conversation flows so naturally. So, all these things keep me motivated.
Got it. Okay, so now in terms of your Instagram, so you got on Instagram, I take it early.
I got on Instagram so early, but really didn't appreciate and or understand how it could be used as a marketing tool.
Okay.
So I was one of the first users, but just, taking pictures of my kids who were quite young at the time. And I was like, oh, this is such a fun way to document my children. And then, I was public and people were liking it. It still didn't click for me.
Okay, and how many followers do you have right now?
I have 116K.
Wow. Okay. And so and so by the time you figured out that this could be a good way to market your business, how many followers had you acquired at that point?
I had a good following. I probably had between 17 and 25,000 by the time I sort of clicked and put everything together. I was slowly moving over and doing more home decor and taking, at the time I had my store, so I was showing off more of that. Learning by the seat of my pants from others who seem to have, just by looking at others who seem to have connected those dots a lot quicker than I had.
Okay, now how do you first of all, is your following still growing?
It's hard to tell. I have days where I lose hundreds of people.
Okay.
And then I have days where I gain hundreds of people, and I try not to obsess about those numbers too much because it can make you crazy.
It can make you crazy. And I think a lot of when you lose hundreds of people, there are a lot of people who are following, follow for follow kind of thinking like, oh, if I follow her, she'll follow me back.
Right.
It's a great way to grow my following. But also there are so many spam and fake accounts that Instagram is having to continually cull our followers. And
Right.
I was just communicating with somebody in my Facebook group about that today, which is she's like, well, I'm using MiloTree, but I'm getting clicks on my pop-up, but my followers aren't really changing or growing that much. And I'm thinking, oh, my hunch is that, and again, I can't prove this, and she's got a lot of followers, that Facebook is continuing to, get rid of spam accounts and people will follow you and unfollow you. So it's a really hard to know what's going on.
Exactly, because my numbers aren't moving, but it could be just like new people are following me and other accounts are falling off. So I try not to look at them too much.
Now, how do you use your Instagram account for business and how often are you posting?
I try to post to the feed once a day. I don't always hit that mark, but that's what I'm trying for. And then I always try to keep the stories going. I don't like for my stories to never have anything on it at all.
Okay.
And so it'll be a mix of swipe ups to the blog to see a certain post. It just might be like a funny little meme I've seen. It might be my dog, who I love to feature, Cosmo. It might be a project I'm working on. We're renovating a beach house in Rhode Island, some behind the scenes from that. It's a whole different mixture of things. Maybe I'm complaining about the weather because it's cold and it's winter here in Connecticut, but I'm always trying to keep things moving on the stories.
Got it. And will you do affiliate products in your swipe up? Like, do you make money from
I do make
Instagram?
a little bit of money. It's not a huge income generator. I do some swipe ups, especially this time of year. If I see a really great sale is going on and I know, the stools in our kitchen, I've been asked about them several times and I see Wayfair's having a huge sale and it's those stools, I might put up an alert to swipe up in my stories.
With an affiliate link.
Exactly.
Okay. And will people actually go and I don't know if they'll buy your stools, but will they click?
They will swipe up on it. Yes.
Okay. Great. And so that is a way to make a little bit of money.
Absolutely.
But really, Instagram for you then seems to be about engagement.
It's more about marketing, engagement. I happen to think it's just a fun thing to be on. So it's fun, first of all. And I like to see what other people are doing. I find inspiration from it. So I'm happy to be a part of it that way.
Got it. And do you have let's say, a group of other bloggers in your space that you are connected to?
I'm definitely connected to a bunch of other bloggers. When I first started out in 2009, 2010, we would get together a lot more often. I feel like we all are still connected, but we see each other less and less in person.
Now, are you helping each other in any way? Do you have Instagram share groups or things like that?
There's definitely, it's like an unwritten sort of code that there's a whole group of different bloggers that I follow because we know each other from one way or the other. And I think we support each other just by, I'll see she just commented on mine. I'll go over to hers and give her a little comment too. It's just like a polite acknowledgement, like rules of the road type of thing.
Got it. And how much interaction are you doing on Instagram? Are people reaching out to you and DMing you and asking you things?
Yes, I do get a lot of questions on Instagram. I do get DMs. Sometimes it's not always to ask me something. It might just be to commiserate about something or, in reaction to what I've posted. And I do get questions. I've had people send me photos of their home in DMs and ask me very specific interior design questions. So I started a Facebook group where you could just throw in photos of your home and pose it to the whole group. And that's growing. That's got close to 800 people in it now. Where you can just get
What's it called?
Advice.
What's it called in case people want DIY or home decor advice?
Oh, sure. It's Zhush Design Secrets.
Got it.
And it's a private Facebook group, and it's a lot of fun. People give great advice.
And are you able to monetize that?
No, not at all.
Not yet?
I just like doing it.
Oh, that's so nice. Now, okay, how many hours a week do you work on your business?
It's a full-time job for sure. I would guess it's 40 plus.
40 plus. And how many blog posts are you doing a week?
I do about 5 a week, but 1 or 2 of them I might be repurposing content, which I've just learned about recently from several years ago.
Got it. So you're taking, we do this too. And we kind of started doing this maybe about 1.5 years ago because we have so much content. We also started in 2009. This is for Catch My Party.
Right.
And what we do is we take during the week, we do 3 blog posts, 2 of which are new. One is just our favorite parties of the week. One is potentially a roundup. And then the third one we do is we take old content and we update it and we add more information, we add more useful links, we create a new pin or make the images better, and then we update the date because we don't have dates, thank goodness, in our URLs, and we republish it because from what we understand, Google then sees that as new content, and if we pin a new pin from the post, Pinterest sees it as new content.
Right. That's my objective with that as well.
But wow, to come up with those, so you are constantly then blogging.
Yes.
With 5 posts a week.
Right.
Wow. And do you get burnt out? I mean, I know we talked about this, how you stay motivated, but that's a lot of content that you're creating yourself.
Right. Yeah, I do get burnt out once in a while. A few years back, I had this woman in Denver who was giving me a monthly guest post, and that helped out a lot. She had a baby, and she doesn't do that anymore. So, I'm always trying to keep it fresh and look for new ideas. I do keep an editorial calendar, and that keeps me on my toes as well. And having different series that I do every month keeps it fresh for me too.
Give me an example of a series.
I stalk a different interior designer every month, so
Okay.
it's a style stalk, and that's fun for me because I challenge myself to find someone new to feature, in advance. So I've got one lined up for next month.
Now, do you interview them or reach out to them, or it's
No,
more just
not at all. I just stalk them.
That's
After
so
the fact, I might tell them like, "Hey, I featured you today on the blog."
wow. And will they share that content?
They usually do.
Are they really flattered?
Yeah, I hope so.
So for you then, it's been useful. That's smart, which is coming up with different series. Like we do every Sunday, we do our 4 favorite parties of the week. So it's very, my assistant helps me, and it's like very much, we know what we're doing. We pick the parties, we write the posts look pretty similar. And so therefore we know that's going to be a
Right.
post.
Exactly. I like the routine of it. It keeps me structured.
And so how far in advance are you filling out your editorial calendar? Do you know what you're going to be doing in May?
No. Oh, goodness, no.
Okay.
Only about a month in advance. But, I might lean on May of last year, go back and look and see what worked, what didn't, and try to structure it that way.
Now, do you have a team of people to help you?
I wish. No, it's just me, and I have a bookkeeper that, she's not my bookkeeper. She freelances, but she helps me with all the stuff that I really don't excel at, like, taxes and expenses and all that stuff.
Got it. And so you are doing all of your social media.
Exactly.
And how many hours a day, if hours, how much time a day do you spend on Instagram?
Probably an hour or two a day. If I were to look at my phone, it would probably tell me it's a little more. I do it mostly in the evenings, sort of like as a rule of thumb. Otherwise, I would get too distracted all day.
And on your Instagram, like in your feed, you are posting photos of other people's houses and like they're not photos you're taking.
Some are and some aren't. It used to be strictly photos I was taking.
So you'd be
And
driving
then
around, wait, you've been driving around your neighborhood taking pictures?
Exactly.
Really?
No. I mean, sometimes, but my Instagram used to be just my house and just photos I was taking. And then it sort of felt stale. And I started featuring others' content as well.
And how do you do that in terms of rights?
I don't really, it's just, I give them full credit.
Okay.
If anyone were to ask me to take it down, I would. But usually people appreciate it when you tag them and put them into the caption as well.
Got it. And so, okay, so you've had no problem with using other people's photos. So you must be online all the time curating photos.
I'm not, because I just dedicate a certain time where I do that, like the editorial like the calendar for the blog.
Mm-hmm.
I'll plan out my Instagram for a week ahead.
Okay. So, and are you using a scheduler?
I use, what do I use? Planoly.
Okay.
And it makes it pretty easy for me to do it that way.
Now, what about stories? Are those spontaneous?
That's completely spontaneous, and that takes very little time.
And how does your family feel about you doing this?
They're used to it because it's been about 10 years now. And, I joke that I was the mom who was on Instagram before her teenagers were. They've begged me to stay off of TikTok.
My daughter too. Okay.
It's kind of funny. They accept it. I don't post a lot of myself. It's a lot of interiors. It's a lot of homes. So I try to respect them and not make mom too cringy for them. So I think we're in a good balance that way.
Will your daughters let you post photos of them?
No. And it's funny because when they were younger, they would ask me to, and I wasn't really comfortable with it. And now that they're older, no way. My son is 13. He's game sometimes, but that's why it's mostly the dog.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because my daughter, like, that is our deal. She is like, you do not, she doesn't listen to my podcast because I do mention her in my podcast. Hopefully nothing too cringy, but she would think it was totally cringy.
Right.
But she is like, the rule is like no Instagram ever.
Right.
So I like to everybody out there, I do have a daughter. She's super cute, but you will not see photos of her until my guess is she grows out of this phase. So I'm thinking another 4 or 5 years.
Right. I mean, I understand. Like, do you want your mom being a fool on the internet for all your friends to
No.
see?
Well, it's really,
No. So I stay in line.
it's funny because we have a lot of followers like you. So Catch My Party, we've got like, I don't know, 175 or something like that, 1,000 followers. And her friends will find out that that's her mom's account. And then all of a sudden, by the way, I have a lot of cred in their eyes.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah,
is
I
so
have the
funny
same
to me.
experience.
However, if I do a story, like I did a story and I hashtagged it like Visco Girl or something, and which trying to be cool but not, and of course I spelled it wrong, and I got so schooled on
Right.
spelling that wrong. Mom, what if and like her friends, I guess maybe follow Catch My Party, and
Right.
God forbid they see me post in a story and I've spelled Visco Girls wrong. It's so mortifying. So I have to be very careful about what I put on my Catch My Party page. And it actually, I think, does have an impact. It probably makes me less willing to put myself out there because I don't want to be the cringy mom.
Right, exactly. That's the position I'm in. But I'm also camera shy, so it's both those things.
Got it. I am pushing myself to be less camera shy. And I challenge you to also put yourself out there.
I keep saying I'm going to do it, and then I don't. So we'll see.
Hopefully 2020.
Maybe.
Okay. So now if you had advice for somebody starting out in your niche, what would you tell them in terms of growing their business?
I would say, first and foremost, concentrate on email. Get yourself subscribers to your site. Get an email list going. It's something I didn't do for years, and I just can't believe I just slept on that whole concept.
No, wait, what do you do with your email list? What are you sending them?
I send them the blog post as they go out from the feed.
And is that driving a significant amount of traffic?
Yes, it is.
And how many people, can I ask how many people on your list?
It's a small list. It's under 10,000. I'm trying to grow it. For someone who's been blogging as long as I have, I feel like it should be a lot larger.
Promote it on Instagram.
I do. I should promote it more.
In your story with a swipe up to join your
Just
list.
started doing that. I read somewhere you need to do something 7 times.
Right.
For it to stick. So I should do it more.
Do you have like a freebie checklist?
I do. And that's very recent. I only got on board to that whole thing within the past 5 months. I have a PDF you can download that is like a little cheat sheet if you're renovating your home, how high you should hang a chandelier over the dining room table, how high your lights should be over your kitchen island, how high your toilet paper holder should be from the floor. All these measurements that are so tedious, I've collected into one little easy cheat sheet you could have on your phone.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And are you offering that in your swipe up?
I should.
In your story?
Right. I did once or twice, but I really should be doing that more.
Yeah, absolutely. That will definitely grow your list. Okay. So your lists, though, they're very loyal. Is your open rate really high?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I guess, if you were getting on my list somehow, even though I wasn't promoting it, you must be interested in what I'm doing.
That's great. And that then drives significant traffic to your blog?
Right.
And are you
right.
promoting products in your email list?
No, it's just a link to the blog post.
And is it an RSS link?
I think that's what it is, yeah.
So it's just automatically sending?
Exactly, right.
Great. Well, that's okay. So your advice would be start a list.
Yes, that's number 1, start a list.
And anything else?
There's a lot of advice, but that's the big one. And, focus on one thing at a time, probably. Don't try to conquer Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and blogging all at once. Do a focus, deep dive on one of those things one at a time until you're comfortable with it.
Got it. Now, is there something about anything in 2020 that's exciting you about your business?
Well, I've recently just started another Instagram for my artwork. I do abstract painting, and this Instagram is tiny. It's my name, Sue de Chiara.
Okay, spell it.
SUEDECIARA. Chiara. It looks like Suede Chiara, but it's Sue de Chiara.
Oh, right. Okay. And here you're putting your own artwork up?
That's my original artwork, so I want to promote that more in 2020.
And do you sell it?
I do sell it. So I'm still putting together my website. My brother's helping me with that, and that's my project for 2020 to get that going.
I love that. Okay, Sue, if people want to learn more about you, how can they reach out?
The best place to find me is at Zhush on Instagram. Leave me a comment, send me a DM. That's where I'm hanging out and talking to everyone the most.
Great. Well, Sue, honestly, thank you for re-recording this. I think this one's even better than the last one.
Great. It was my pleasure.
I really appreciate it, and it's been great talking to you.
Thanks so much.
My big takeaway from this episode is how you always need to be thinking about using parts of your business that are working and figuring out how to monetize them. So for Sue, she had this big Instagram following, and it took her a while to figure out how to use it as a marketing channel. So always in our businesses, I'm looking, where can I get traction? And then how can I leverage that traction to actually make money? I think it's too easy to grow and not monetize. So I leave you with that. And for those of you wanting to take your business to the next level, that might mean even starting your business, please let us help you set up your blog so that you have that as the foundation of your business. Head to milotree.com, milotree.com/blog start. And we will get you set up, and we will be there for you as you continue to build. And I will see you here again next week.